To remove the wheel, 19mm socket. If you have a hubcap, go ahead and remove these little caps that hold this on. Pull this off, set it aside, and then with a 19mm socket, continue to removing all 5 of your lug nuts and then take the wheel off. Next, we have to take out the splash shield here. I'm going to start at the top and remove all of the push clips that hold this in. Okay, there's one. Another one over here. 2 more underneath. 2 more at the front. One is over here. Pull this one out. Okay, and then this one over here. Now, get this one out a little bit, and then if you pull on this lower one, you should be able to slide it out. I'm going to use my 3/8 ratchet. You can use a breaker bar or whatever else you have. And I'm aiming for that cutout right there in the Serpentine belt tensioner. Slide the tool in here and then pull counterclockwise. That releases tension off of the belt. Slide the belt right off of whichever pulley is easiest for you. For me, apparently it's the tensioner. That's fine. Release tension, or let go, I guess. Remove your tool, and now we can slide the belt off. You don't have to take it off of everything, just push it aside so we can have room to work right here. Now use a 21mm socket and remove the crank bolt. I recommend a fairly powerful impact gun for this. Slide this off, and now you can slide this straight off of the crank. And there it is. Next, you want to clean up the area a little bit if there's any oil residual here or debris, whatever it might be. And then you want to take your new harmonic balancer, slide it up into position, and line it up. Sometimes you'll have to twist it to line it up, and then it should press right on all the way with minimal difficulty. Now the bolt, you might have noticed it had some RTV on it, some gasket maker, and I scraped it off, I cleaned it, I degreased it with brake parts cleaner. Sometimes if it's a new bolt, it might not have it from the factory, but either way, someone's been in there before, that's why mine had it. So I'm going to squeeze a little bit of gasket maker on it. You don't need a lot. Whoever put it on last put way too much on mine, so it kind of smushed out everywhere. You need a very, very thin layer. This is going to be plenty. Like that. And then I'm just going to make sure it's evenly distributed. Even this might be a little too much actually, but that's fine. I'll leave it at this. Okay, so do that. And then you also want to put a little bit right here where the washer meets the head of the bolt. And work it in here. There we go. Okay, and now you want to install the bolt. Thread it on by hand. Definitely do not want that to cross thread. Now take your tool and bottom it out. Okay, so the torque for this is supposed to be 75 foot-pounds and then an additional 125 degrees. That's a lot, and you're supposed to always replace this bolt. However, since I don't have a new one, I'm not gonna make it that tight because you do risk breaking it. It does somewhat stretch a little bit. So what I'm going to do is actually just run it down with my air gun and make it nice and tight. just like that. But like I said, the torque is 74 foot-pounds plus 125 degrees. And of course, that would be with a new bolt. With a used bolt, just do your best to make it as tight as you possibly can, but obviously don't break it or don't strip out the crank. Now it's time to put the belt back on. So I'm gonna slide it around the, oops, it fell off of the top pulley there. I'm gonna put it around the harmonic balancer for now. And then I'm actually gonna go over here and resituate it on the AC compressor, which is on the bottom, and then the alternator is the top one. So I'm gonna slide my arm up there. That's on. It's on the AC compressor. I'm gonna hold the belt so it doesn't fall off again. So I'm gonna grab the tensioner, release tension, and I'm gonna slide it up and over the alternator, because in my case, that's the easiest way for me to get it on at this point. Of course, I'm going to double check it. As you can see, it's not completely on the tensioner. Now it is. So remove the tool, and you want to double check and make sure that the belt is sitting in all of the grooves on all the pulleys, except for this one. This one's a flat pulley on the flat side of the belt. So just make sure that's centered up, and then the other ones look like they're good. Yep, both of them. So that's perfect. All right, let's get the splash shield back up. Line it up with all the push clip holes. Kind of like that. Now let's get the push clips. Get all the push clips reinstalled. Here, one up top. And I had to remove this one over here. Like that. There we go. Now it's time to get the wheel back on. Start on all 5 of your lug nuts, snug them up, and then torque them to 100 foot-pounds. A 100 foot-pounds. And now, don't forget about your hubcap if you have one. Line it up with the valve stem. There we go. And I recommend tightening these by hand. If you do them with a power tool, they are more likely to strip out, and your hubcap is going to go flying off the road because it's not attached properly. So just make these nice and snug, as tight as you can, just with your hand, because these are just plastic, so that'll be perfectly tight. Okay, take it for a road test.